Honesty. It's a word we hear all the time. It's taught in our homes, in schools, in religious texts. But what does it really mean in our day-to-day lives? Well, today, we're going to go beyond just the simple definition. We're going to explore honesty as this fundamental pillar of society, and really a core principle of integrity. So let's dive in.
All right, so let's start with a situation you've probably seen before. Just picture this. A colleague of yours grabs some text from the internet, a little copy and paste, and just drops it right into a report. They submit it as their own work. No reference, no credit given. So how does that make you feel? Does that sit right with you? It might seem like, just a small shortcut, right? But that one gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today.
You see, that scenario with your colleague, it's not just some minor little oops. The source material we're looking at actually frames honesty as a fundamental social demand. It's not just a nice to have. It's a cornerstone for a society that actually works, and it's also a really profound religious virtue, especially within Islamic teachings.
And really, at its core, the message is pretty simple. Honesty, sincerity, and goodwill. These aren't just optional extras. Think of them as the essential building blocks. They're what you need to build trust and integrity in, every single interaction you have.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how this is framed. It takes this big abstract idea of honesty and grounds it in a very real, very concrete command. This verse from the Quran, it's not just about, tell the truth. It's a direct instruction to be trustworthy with actual tangible things, to pay back what you've been entrusted with. So it's not just a feeling anymore, is it? It becomes a clear, required action. And there's no better illustration of this principle than the example of the Prophet Muhammad himself. Now, what's so crucial here, and this is a huge point, is that he earned this reputation, the honest and trustworthy, before his prophetic mission ever began. Think about that for a second. It shows that his integrity wasn't just some religious thing. It was a universal human value that his entire community recognized. His character was, quite literally, his foundation.
So, it turns out honesty isn't just one big single concept. The source material actually breaks it down for us into two different but totally connected types. What we say, that's honesty in speech, and what we do, honesty in our deeds.
Okay, so think of it like two sides of the same coin. On one side, you've got honesty of speech. This is pretty straightforward, telling the truth in all situations. And the source links this directly to having a pure heart. Then you flip the coin, and you've got honesty of deeds. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? It's about your actions matching your words. So, fulfilling your promises, giving good, honest advice, and doing your work as sincerely and flawlessly as you can. The big takeaway here, you absolutely need both. What you say and what you do have to be in perfect sync for it to be true integrity. Okay, so let's circle all the way back to that colleague we talked about, the one copying from the internet. That action, it's a perfect example of a modern form of dishonesty that the source actually calls out by name, plagiarism. And let's be real, in a world just flooded with information, this has become a huge ethical battleground for all of us. And the definition is crystal clear, right? It's simply taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as your own. It doesn't matter if it's a single idea, one sentence, or whole project. The second you present it as yours, you've crossed a really critical line. You violated honesty in both what you say and what you do.
And believe me, the consequences of this kind of dishonesty are serious. First off, it's pretty obvious. It's a form of theft, intellectual theft. But the danger goes so much deeper than that. Look at that second point about risk. This is where the stakes get incredibly high. Just imagine an engineer or a doctor who got their job using a plagiarized certificate. Their lack of real knowledge could literally lead to catastrophic failures. So we're not just talking about breaking some school rule here. This is a profound ethical failure with potentially devastating real-world consequences.
So we've looked at the principles, the different types, and even the serious consequences. But what's the essence of honesty? How can we boil all of this down to one single powerful idea?
Well, the source text we've been using distills everything we've talked about into one elegant, really powerful core idea. And here it is. Honesty is doing the right thing in the right way at the right time. Just think about that. This definition is so powerful because it covers everything. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you do it and when you do it. It's basically a complete guide to living a life of integrity, all packed into one single sentence.
So the final question is really for you to think about. In your work, in your relationships, in all the little decisions you make every day, how can you apply this simple definition?
How can you start focusing on doing the right thing in the right way at the right time, starting right now? That's the real challenge of honesty, isn't it? Thanks for exploring this with us today.